You know, the more things that come out about the Nintendo Switch 2, the more I'm wondering just how close are we to the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. Is the reveal going to be held in January, or is that just the fan inside of me wanting to see the next Nintendo console? Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to the Robotron Show, where we cover the latest gaming news, leaks, and rumors from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, make sure you click the subscribe button below this video and the notification bell so you know when I upload. In this video, we are going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors and leaks that have recently popped up. As we get closer to this console, Switch 2 rumors and leaks are going to be dropping left and right, so make sure you have the notification bell on for those who want to be notified when I upload the video on these topics. We also have to talk about the information from Nate the Hate, a new Nintendo Switch game leak as well, which is pretty interesting because it does come from the 3DS. There's also some Nintendo Switch news to talk about as well. So new Nintendo Switch rumors and leaks keep on dropping. Recently we had things like release date rumors, reveal date rumors, Joy-Con photos, and so much more, even accessories. And today we are here talking about more things that have been recently popping up, with the first one being from Nintendo insider Nate the Hate. This is what comicbook.com has to say. What many weren't playing in 2016 was the Nintendo 3DS. The Nintendo Switch wasn't out yet, but the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Wii U kept most busy. The Nintendo 3DS was 5 years old come 2016, and not a ton of noteworthy games were coming to it. There were games though, perhaps not as notable as the games above, but there were plenty of 3DS games releasing in 2016. One of these games is Kirby Planet Robobot. According to the new rumor, Nintendo is going back to this 3DS game and releasing it on the Nintendo Switch sometime in 2025. At release, the Kirby game garnered an 81 on Metacritic, which is a very solid score, but below the highs Nintendo routinely puts out. Further, it did not sell well by Nintendo's lofty standards, so the fact that it's coming back is a bit of a surprise. As for the source of the rumor, it is an industry insider Nate the Hate, a source who has both been on the money in the past and off the mark as well. In all other words, despite being well known, the source is a little inconsistent, so this information should be taken with a grain of salt. So a couple key things to take away from this. One, it's from Nate the Hate. Nate the Hate has been right on a lot of things, but he also has been inconsistent, so that's something you have to keep in mind. It could be fake. I always say this with all of these rumors, but they could be fake. Always try to set up those expectations just in case it ends up being fake. 2, apparently this is supposed to be coming out in sometime in 2025. Now the Nintendo Switch 2 should be out by that time, so we'll see what happens there, if there's going to be any special versions of that or any upgrades to that, like a 4K version. Because remember, the Nintendo Switch 2 is supposedly supposed to be 4K when it's docked. This is going to be achieved through DLSS according to rumors, so who knows if this 3DS game, which it is a 3DS game, so I don't see why we shouldn't have fantastic performance and a pretty high resolution, right? But yeah, pretty cool information. Now moving on to some Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. Nintendo may be ramping up production for the Nintendo Switch 2. So if you guys haven't seen this, the Go Nintendo article reads as this: rumor, earning reports may point to Switch successor manufacturing. Now we know the Nintendo Switch 2 is supposed to be revealed in 2024, sometime by March. As for the release date, we don't really know that. There are rumors floating around, and if you want to learn about that, click the top right corner of this video. With that being said, this is what Go Nintendo has to say on it. Foxconn Technology Co. is a Nintendo contracted assembler, and they've mentioned previously that they're working on a game console technologies that strongly hinted at mass assembly of the Switch successor. And that's some of the stuff that we've covered previously on the show, so it makes sense that there's going to be an update on that. Now some new data has bubbled up that makes those rumblings even more believable. Foxconn Tech has shared their November operating revenue, the results of which shown their highest monthly revenue since October 2021. The amount to the 74% increase month over month and a whopping 223% increase year over year. As the company didn't forecast any revenue from other areas of their business, it certainly seems like this is a big boost that would come from the Switch successor manufacturing. So essentially what that means is that 223 year-to-year boost on their development on whatever they're making doesn't come from the other stuff that they're making. They make electronics like smartphones, they also do wearable devices, network communication, cloud equipment, all of these things, desktop computers, laptops, tablets, just a whole bunch of different things, even vehicles. And this increase, 227% year to year, didn't come from any of that. So that's a little suspicious right there. Pair that with the previous information that we covered, then you can probably say that maybe this is for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now if that's the case, and Nintendo is starting to put together the Nintendo Switch 2, you really have to wonder, when is the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal then? It has to be pretty close if they're already putting these things together. Now when you pair this with some pretty interesting things that Nate the Hate has heard, he said that he's heard that Nintendo is preparing the Switch 2 event for May of 2025. Now remember, that is after March, so this would mean that there would be two events. There would be the initial reveal, and then there will be that time between the initial reveal and the full reveal, which will be in May of 2025, according to Nate the Hate. And if it does end up coming in May of 2025, this makes me wonder when the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 is. There were recent rumors that said it's going to be between July and June for that release. I don't think that's happening. That's definitely not happening. I don't believe that at all. This is more or less looking like a holiday season release, I think. If it's revealed in May, then they need a couple months to get ready for the launch, so that would probably be right around September/November, right? They're not going to reveal it in May and then release it a month later or 2 months later. They're gonna take at least 3 to 4 months, if not 5, like they usually do, right? At least I'm pretty sure that's what they did with the other Nintendo Switch. The interesting thing here is June and July is right after May, and we know that Nintendo usually likes to do their big Nintendo Direct to announce a whole bunch of games, so maybe they're gonna reveal the Nintendo Switch 2 and then a month later have that June Nintendo Direct that they usually do, unless, you know, like a new console comes up or something weird is happening. I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they do, but if it is a May release, that's pretty good in my opinion, especially if we get to see the console before 2025 starts. That'd be pretty great. Or not 2025, but by March, I mean. Now, keeping up with the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors, according to My Nintendo News, they have a new rumor for us, and it says, rumor, Switch 2 will support Samsung's SD Express micro SD cards. This is what they have to say. It has been discovered that Nintendo has a job opening for a electromagnetic or mechanical, that's how you say that word, mechanical engineer. Among the requirements are a couple of mentions of having knowledge of power behind PCB designs. One of them specifically mentions experience with high-speed signaling, wow, I really can't talk today, guys, and power delivery on PCB designs that contain elements such as PCIe, DDR4, MIPI, SD/SD Express. Now, the reason why they're pointing towards these Samsung SD cards is, according to My Nintendo News, the mention of SD Express, a new upcoming standard line of micro SD cards from Samsung. So that's why that leads people to speculate that, hey, maybe this is gonna be available with Samsung and their SD cards. Which, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different SD cards you can use for the current Nintendo Switch, so I don't think anyone's really surprised that Nintendo is doing this. They did this with the 3DS, I think they did that with the Wii U as well, right? And they did it with the Wii. They've been doing it for quite some time, now that I think about it, so it's not really too surprising. And honestly, that's something I prefer compared to, say, Sony or Xbox, that they're doing it with their own stuff, because, well, I don't want to say their own stuff, because PS5, you can go out of Sony's technology and still have extra storage and put it in your PS5, but it's just so much cheaper on the Switch, and that's one of the positives I like about the Nintendo Switch. I don't know why I'm ranting about memory on the Switch, but it's in this video now. But yeah, moving on to another thing, we have the Game Awards coming up, and there are some rumors going around about the Game Awards. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be Nintendo, but it could be, but we'll see. This is what the title of the article says. Rumor, Andy from VGC expecting a big Game Awards says fire up the hype train. Next week, in the biggest gaming awards ceremony of the year, the Game Awards, and each year people have a reasonably high expectation for the annual event and are generally left feeling somewhat disappointed. It seems as though that might be the case of this year's event though. Andy Robinson from VGC has been stoking the fire on X, or Twitter if you still call it Twitter. I call it Twitter, to be honest. I just said X because that's what it says in the article. But anyways, they give the quote by him saying, expecting a very big Game Awards next week. Fire up the hype train. Now, as for me, I've always been disappointed by the Game Awards, to be honest, especially when it comes to the reveals for the games. If I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys, I don't really care too much about the rewards, or awards. I don't know why I said rewards. I'm there for the game reveals. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I used to be kind of interested in the beginning, and over time I just kind of lost interest, and I'm just like, okay, just get to the game reviews. Might be a little self-centered, might come off as something bad for some people, but I don't know. The Game Awards just isn't really interesting outside of the game reveals for me, and that's just my feelings on that. Especially with the news of that new category for DLC or something like that. I saw that and I'm like, that's just wrong and dumb. What is going on here? Elden Ring's DLC is now available for the best game of the year, I think it was, game of the year. And it's like, why wasn't that in the years prior? Something weird is going on. But anyways, moving on to the Nintendo Switch news. So first up, we do have a new Nintendo Switch 2 game that was revealed for the Nintendo Switch 2, or announced, I should say. A new Demon Slayer is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. Now this is from the Hinokami Chronicle series for that game. This is going to be a sequel to that game. And right now, according to Nintendo Life, there are no platforms or release dates for this. It's just straight up revealed. But considering in 2022, the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the first game was on the platform, more than likely they're going to be bringing that to the Nintendo Switch. I think I just said Nintendo Switch 2. I meant the Nintendo Switch. Now, this game is going to cover the second chapter of the Entertainment District arc for anyone who's interested, and then it will follow through the Hashira training arc as well. And next up, we do have some Pokemon Unite news as well. Tin Katan is coming to Pokemon Unite later this month. There's no date. Oh no, there is a date. It's going to be Thursday, December 12th. So actually in 4 days, 3 days when this uploads, because this is going to upload on Monday. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.